Nothing gets done in America without the hardworking men and women of the trucking industry. Do we agree with that?
That's Donald Trump back in October of 2017, pretending as if he genuinely cares about the well-being of truckers in America. Well, if he genuinely cared about them, he wouldn't be pushing forward with the type of economic policy decisions he's been making, because they are hurting truckers and they are really feeling the pain. In fact, Business Insider spoke to some of these truckers and the quotes are pretty incredible. Now, keep in mind that the majority of truckers are conservative. I'll give you those numbers in just a minute. But everyone Business Insider spoke to voted for Trump. Morris Kaufman, a lifelong conservative, is one of the people who voted for Trump. He's a trucker and he says, quote, "Trump is absolutely a moron. His idiotic ideas will tank the economy even further."
Love it.
He also said, quote, "You cannot bully your way to a good economy." And what he's referring to there is the trade war. The trade war has really hurt truckers. It's hurt manufacturing in America. And what does Trump have to say when that type of criticism comes up? He says, "My life would be a lot easier if I didn't take on China, but I like doing it because I have to do it." What does that even mean?
It means that face.
It's amazing.
He's such a baby.
Let me give you some more. Trump's trade wars are expected to reduce the average US household's income by $580 by 2020, and that's according to the Congressional Budget Office. They did analysis on this and just released a report. Now, J.L. Sims is another trucker who happened to vote for Trump, and he says, quote, "The truth about the rates being so low is Trump's trade policies. Manufacturers are scared. Last month's manufacturing jobs numbers finally began to reflect the reduced production. Everyone looks at unemployment rates and thinks mistakenly that the economy is in great shape. Manufacturing tells the real story." This is a conservative, guys. This is a conservative. It's not me saying that the unemployment numbers are BS and it's not a good metric to look at when you want to talk about a robust economy. This is a conservative who's in this field and sees firsthand how disastrous Trump's economic policies have been.
So let's put more numbers to it, because Business Insider looked at transport research groups and what they've reported. Year over year, trucking loads have gone down 37% in July, and rates for those same loads have gone down by 18%. So the quantity has gone down, and so has the price. So this has been devastating for truckers. I'm actually really surprised at this number. Nearly 3/4 of truck drivers are Republicans. So they lean very, very Republican. Part of the reason I'm surprised is I have a soft spot in my heart for truckers, because we started on Sirius Satellite Radio, and we used to have a lot of truckers listening to us. We used to I don't know if we still have it on shoptyt.com, but a trucker hat that said, "Keep on Turkin'."
Oh, I remember that.
Right, yeah. And so a lot of truck drivers love the Young Turks, but apparently most of them, because we believe in facts, are Republicans. But even all those guys are like, Jesus, this is devastating. But if you think, look, okay, fine, it's hurt this one particular industry, right? No, it's a leading economic indicator. So if the truckers are having trouble because there's less products to move, that means the manufacturers are producing less products. And that's when you hit the iceberg and the recession hits. Look, some folks are saying, oh, it'd be good if the recession came. It reminds me of people saying, oh, it'd be good if Trump won because then it'll lead to better times later. No, don't root for bad things to happen, okay? Because you never know how bad things can get, as we saw with Donald Trump. You never know how bad that recession can get. I don't want it to happen. But whether we want it or not doesn't change the facts. And they're shipping they're trucking 37% less goods year over year. We're about to hit the iceberg. Trump's on top of the Titanic going, what iceberg? Yeah. I have the best ships. They're the unsinkable ships.
So I want to give you a little more information, because it isn't just the trade war that's negatively impacting these truckers. It's also Trump's tax policy. Let's go to graphic 8. Trump's tax reworking in 2017 led to many truck drivers having to pay hundreds in taxes this year thanks to a change in per diem laws. But for some truckers, it's actually worse than that. Dennis Bridges, an accountant who specializes in doing taxes for truckers, told Mother Jones in April that 75% of his clients saw an unusually large tax payment, and about 20% had to fork over more than $5,000.
Well, apparently the three professions that vote most Republican are surgeons, because they make a lot of money, farmers, and truckers. Well, when you hit one of your top constituencies with a giant tax because you wanted to give more away to big corporations, not gonna play well.
It's not gonna play well, but I also want to kind of wrap this story with giving you guys some caution, right? Don't get too confident. Don't think that getting a Democrat elected is in the bag. We don't need to worry about anything, because there are people who will be hurt economically and they'll still support Trump. Take a look.
Industry data shows the rates trucking companies charge are down nearly as much as 17%. The reason, in part, the president's trade war. With fewer goods like steel and electronics coming into US ports, fewer trucks are needed to move them. Zimmerman says his company's revenues are down 8% from last year.
Do you in any way feel that he's the man responsible for the trade war and the setback you've been dealt?
It has an effect on our business, yes, but I don't blame him for it.
That's it. It has an effect on our business, but I don't blame the guy making the economic decisions for what's happening in my industry. It's absurd.
Okay, all right. But at the same time, I don't want you to get discouraged. The overall numbers politically are fantastic for Democrats and terrible for Donald Trump. He's got a 5-point drop in his approval ratings overall. He's down to 40% approval. Look, any other president at 40%, people would be talking about now, almost a year out from the election, he's in a world of trouble. And laws of physics still apply. The only thing that's hanging in there is half of Americans still approve of how Trump is handling the economy. If any kind of recession hits and he loses that base, good night, Irene. It's over before it even started. I know you're thinking, oh, don't say that, because you're so shell-shocked from 2016. But I'm telling you, you're over shell-shocked. Look at these numbers, they're a disaster. On foreign affairs, he pulls at 40%. On immigration, he pulls at 37%. They hate his immigration policies. On handling race relations, he pulls at 32%. Even among whites, he pulls at only 40% on race relations and dropping. He's a disaster across the board. If things continue like this, and if the economy takes a downturn, as the trucking story indicates, he's gonna get shellacked. He's gonna get clobbered. It's gonna be so embarrassing. I think Scaramucci might be onto something about him just bailing and go, because he doesn't want to get embarrassed. It's gonna be a historic landslide. If things go that way, I know, look, and now finally I'll do the note of caution, because I can see Anna getting nervous.
Yeah, okay? The optimism is ridiculous.
No, the optimism is 100% real. But the problem is his opponents are the Democrats, and the Democrats can lose any race.
Ding, 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 ding.
Right. Yeah. So we have got to make sure that they pick someone who's actually gonna fight for the American worker. If you get a progressive who's gonna fight aggressively for the average American, we're gonna win easy. You get like a Biden going, well, I don't know, Trump might be onto something. I wanna work with the Republicans. Then you might hand the election to this idiot who's otherwise has no chance. The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.